it would be bullshit to say that there's at this level where they are, that the riders, someone is really better than all the others. They are all on a really, it's an edge where all the riders are. And right now, the last years, how I can tell, the first guys was like, it's not the question who is better. The question was who is doing a mistake.
Welcome back to the second part of the Riders Lounge podcast interview with the professor from Germany, Fabian Bauersachs. I'm Steve Sommerfeld and I am a washed up FMX rider who now spends more time talking about freestyle motocross than actually riding. But in saying that, it's way safer to be hosting this podcast dedicated to FMX and listening to the riders and their stories who are always pushing the limits of what's possible on a dirt bike or just making cool content and giving me a reason to go on Instagram. Actually, I only really get excited about Instagram for the throwback Thursday photos where I can momentarily live in the past and try to remember the cool things that I did. But that's the joy of getting older, I guess. The other joys of getting a little bit older is becoming more of a connoisseur of fine beers. And after traveling the world for more than a decade and riding my bike, I've definitely taste tested a lot, and I couldn't be more stoked to come across the range of beers from the Rothaus Brewery in Germany. The Tannenzaepfle range of pills, wheat beers, radlers, and alcohol-free options are so good. And of course, they're produced in Germany with that eye to detail that you would expect. This is beer in its purest form, and there's nothing better than a cold Tannenzaepfle while creating this podcast episode. I also want to give a shout out to the guys at Custom MX Graphics, MotorX Oils, GB Orthopedics, DEP Pipes, Race Effects, and TCX Boots, who actually sponsor me with the Comp Evo 2 boots, but I actually forgot that they also sponsor my guest, Fabian Bauersachs, way back in the day, and he's still getting around in his 2.1 boots since he's had, with a few brand new pairs in boxes since about 2013. So it's good to see that they still last. Since Fabi and I were both vaccinated with a gramophone needle, like my mum used to say, and in Germany you'd probably call him Herr Labersachs, which is kind of a gas bag, I knew halfway through this interview that it would make more sense to break it up into two parts and actually go a bit deeper into Fabi's world. In part 2, we move from the disappointment of just missing out on that World Championship in 2003, which was in part 1, and we see where his FMX career takes him, which spanned about 15 years or so. From learning the flip, riding at Red Bull X Fighters, which is absolutely massive, playing video games, of course, like we always do, and judging at Night of the Jumps at the World Championships. Speaking of which, keep your eyes peeled on Night of the Jumps on their Instagram, Facebook or YouTube pages as we're breaking open the vault on some classic events, and we'll be bringing live streamed new content throughout this whole lockdown phase until we're back and bringing you all new World Championship competitions. We might even have to pull out an old episode from before 2013 when Fabian was still on top of the FMX world. So without further ado, here's part 2 with Fabian Bauersachs. So you missed the World Championship, or becoming the World Champion in 2003.
Exactly.
You're coming back from injury. Everyone starts backflipping. Did you get close to winning a World Championship again?
For the compact and stuff, it was just pain in the ass because I was hard to do all my stuff again and to get over the fear, to feel good again on the bike and stuff and relaxed. And with all these backflips going on now, high-low with this kicker flip, so it was a kicker flip time, and also bossy and stuff. And this cost me so much points. And you can do normal tricks as good as you want it.
You will never get close.
If someone is doing a backflip, that was just the thing where it's, more risk, more technical stuff. Technical, I mean, if you know a backflip and you know how to do it, now you would say it's not technical anymore. But so it was really, really hard to get back to their level.
Yeah.
I guess it took me one year because I don't have a form pit. We don't have in Europe or in Germany a form pit. We also have to go down to Andre Villa. Then I did my first form pit on a bike somewhere,
BMX or something.
In a BMX or something. Then with a Samstar bike, 120 CCM, these little things.
Yeah.
And then I just went for it in Andre Villa's place with the 250. The first one. I was scared, jumped off, otherwise I would have done it. So I just did it 2 or 3 times more. Then we had to close the form pit and we went back to Germany. And that's it.
So 3 shots?
3 shots. And then no form pit here, nothing. And it was not enough to do it on dirt. So we built my own form pit. A lot of time, a lot of money. Did so many backflips in it. Perfect. All fine. Had a next event, I guess it was Cologne, 2 weeks, and I decided I will do my first backflip in Cologne. So I built up a landing, set everything in place, that the takeoff in the same thing, everything.
Yeah.
It was raining, but I wanted to do it. Went up, did my first test jump, and it was so wet. That's a landing, which I made new.
Yeah.
It felt good when you was walking on it and just driving down. But when I landed it, I stuck immediately.
Really?
Stuck. Not even one. I landed, whoop, 0, and I hit my balls so bad. So bad. I went also over the handlebars.
Yeah.
And you know, when you have your finger always on the clutch, it was, my finger just snapped.
Oh!
And it was,
So your fingers come all the way back to your wrist.
It was direct, swollen and everything. And exactly at this moment, okay, Cologne, not my first backflip. That's done. Nope. And it became even worse because I was always used to riding with the finger on the clutch, also doing tsunamis and all the stuff. I needed to learn the whole technique different. Yeah. So again, it cost me a long time. So it was really hard way. Hey, and now
so the knee really just started
messed up everything. It messed up everything, and you know what? Now I get it. I have never done a backflip on a kicker ramp on a short distance. I skipped it. I was to Basti's place in Schenkenhorst. They had a new big form pit, and it was just a fun thing. I said, "Look, just skip the fucking kicker flip. Just go for the long one." And I was like, you think it's possible? You think it's good? And Basti, of course, just go for it. Do it.
Hey, it's good for Basti to tell you to do it.
Do it. It's no problem. 21 meters. And I thought, okay, so I was watching him. I mean, he was always watching how they're doing it.
Yeah.
Speed check, jumping 2 times straight in the form pit. And then, okay, go for it. And the first backflip, the long one, was perfect in the form pit.
Wow.
Really. I did 3 more. And the next day again, I did 3 or 5. And then Mini, the mechanic, you know him? He was like, every flip is so good and everything is perfect. I'm bored to get you out of the form pit. Just go and do it on fucking dirt. And I said, are you kidding me? And he said, look, everyone was saying everything is perfect. I felt good. I felt like I'm having the control. And I don't know. I just did it on dirt. It was hard for the brain, you know. The first backflip on 21 meters. But Schenkenhorst was a nice track. Everything. I had the people around me, which I was doing most of the time my riding. I felt good. So I went for it. Yeah. And what should I say? The first one, perfect.
Oy.
Absolutely perfect. Sweet. And the wind came up. No backflip anymore. The next one was 2 days later in Stefan Banks' place. Different ramp, different landing. I was scared. I did it. Was good.
That's impressive.
And it was really good for the head. You know? Yeah. If this is working like this, if you can do it on different ramps, different landings, it gives you a big
confidence boost. Really.
Exactly. And then it was 1 week later was Berlin. Another ramp. I mean, they are pretty similar, but you know, a ramp is not the same ramp. Nope. Always different. First contest, did my first backflip in a contest. Then I was back in the game.
Yeah. So you did it straight away then in the contest?
Yeah.
That's impressive because it probably means nothing now. Because in this day and age, you should be doing double backflips every day you ride, blah, 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 blah.
This guy's
but
crazy.
In when nobody knew, and every ramp is different, and you're always like, you just have to make sure that first one, do you feel good? Yeah, okay, I feel good. Hopefully it just works the same as the one before that I remember last week somewhere else. So yeah, back in those days, no one really knew. Like it was new for everybody. It was fresh. So that's pretty crazy. And then, so you rode a lot with Busty Walter.
Yeah, he was my long time riding mate and also one of my biggest, opponent? Or
opponent.
He was
like competitor,
of course, German.
Against you, yeah.
We was both German.
Yeah.
Of course, we did it the friendly way. We was training all the time together. We was looking at videos and stuff. So it was always a friendly enemy.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
You know,
you push him and he pushes you, and that's how you get better. Yeah. And so then you two were both riding at Red Bull X Fighters as well. So you've done a lot of IFMXF, Night of the Jumps.
Yeah.
You got into X Fighters. That's huge.
That was really good times, and Red Bull X Fighters is pretty tough. The events was really tough. It was totally different to the events you are used to with indoor and having 2 or 3 ramps, because it was also smaller. You had 2 8-meter ramps, 1 kicker ramp, and maybe 1 9-meter ramp.
Yeah.
But then everything was pretty basic.
Yeah.
But then when you showed up to some X Fighters, it's different.
Yeah.
All the other names, big names, you was kind of nervous, other ramps and stuff. So, but the energy they had in Madrid, in this Stierkampf arena.
You're in Madrid.
I was in Madrid.
Nice.
This was still on Honda. I guess this was the time before I had
so
the
before
knee injury.
Yeah, okay.
So, but like
You've
I
been
told
there
you
for a long time.
So this was good, but also riding with Metzger and all Andre Villa and all the big names and stuff. So it was really fun. And now I would say, or in the last years in my freestyle career, to be honest, I was not so sad not to ride these events.
Yeah. Because you just had to be so gnarly.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was still at this, I was over 30.
Yeah.
When I was still on a really high level, did good Superman flips, sometimes for my, I'm really tall.
Yeah.
It was really hard for me to do some tsunami flips or something. And I never figured out how to do it, because when I tried it, I slowed down the rotation so bad that I always was hard to get the rotation done and stuff. But I was old compared to the other guys, and I was thinking way more.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, a normal part of it.
That's
of getting
natural.
Older.
Yeah.
And always when I was seeing these guys, what they are doing, and over this always different distances, different ramps and dirt takeoffs and stuff, I was like, you are just damn crazy.
Yeah. Those guys, like, I guess, 2010, that sort of time, maybe a bit earlier, like, it was just so gnarly. The courses were gnarly and they were pushing each other.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
in that time,
crazy.
It was crazy. And you're in the middle of all that.
Yeah.
As kind of the old guy, but, representing Germany, I guess. And
so to be honest, I was just like, okay, maybe this is just a little bit too much risking your life. You're risking your life anyway when you're doing this stuff all the time. Yeah. But with this stuff more, I was like, okay, it's good. So because I was focusing already on business and company and stuff a little bit. So I wanted to give always my best, but not pushing up the risk too much.
Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you've talking about, because I did the same thing. I think I always thought too much about it. I should have just done it, but maybe if I just did it, I would have even more injuries than I already
maybe,
do. So.
Maybe that's it. Yeah. Actually, it prepares you of doing stupidness, maybe, or stupid things, maybe.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly right. So, your nickname is the Professor. How did you get that nickname? And I think probably by listening to you so far, I guess the people have understood why you're the Professor.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
I guess, from the time on after my crashes, I'm always trying to figure out and finding out the reason why something is not working as I want, why I crashed or something. And I was working a lot with videotapes, Someone filmed me. I was watching it always to find out what is the problem. If it's me, if it's something with a bike or whatever, and always finding out a solution to solve the problem. And when I had these damn crashes, I was just pissed, with the pain all the time of the bike and stuff. And in the beginning, I also was just like, not a problem. Just go for it.
Yeah.
No, helmet on, switched off, and go for it. And we made a lot of stuff. Also with Basti, after thinking it's stupid. And no one would believe me that I have done this stuff.
Yeah.
Because Fab would never have done stuff like this.
I have trouble believing it, yes.
But I have done some crazy things and stuff when we was out for riding on the bike. But I guess the crash in Salzburg, when we had this pretty big track in this soccer field.
Yeah.
And it was long gaps between and long run-ups and everything. And we don't have dirt. It was more this stone stuff. I don't know. This
kind of like gravel or something. No, not gravel, but
the little rocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the fine stuff. We say shotter.
Yeah.
You put under the asphalt and stuff.
Yeah. Kind of like crusher dust. Sort of like
kind of
that.
So, but rocks like this, Yeah. And it looked perfect when they made it new and they just smoothed it out and everything. Everything looked perfect. And at this time we don't had run-ups. No mesh on the run-ups, nothing. Yeah. And of course, we was training, and as more people was riding, all this dirt or these stones come up really loose, and you have these ruts before the ramp, and you had this gap. There's a ruts getting deeper and deeper,
like a 10 centimeter,
and then
rut
exactly
into
a
the
rut,
ramp
and then you get in a ramp and pop.
Yeah.
You got this kick on in the ass.
Yeah,
and we had jumps like 23 meters, 23 and a half meters. So they was really huge. And it was just a nice view sitting on the stage.
Like in the stands?
In the stands and looking to the other riders. It was just huge. And this was a time with a rock solid crash. I was feeling so good with it and had fun because so much airtime. And I was doing them all the day and checking pictures, and it was just fine. And I can remember like it was yesterday. I just did my last round and I said, look, now to be good for the final or for the qualification run, do this trick here again, and then one more rock solid, and then everything is fine. Save it on your brain, go for it. It's a rock solid. But my bike, normally you have this, corner?
Yeah.
When the bike is flying in a normal corner.
Okay, yeah.
It comes
the
up
arc of
to
the
one
jump.
point, the arc, exactly. Yeah. But at this time, I did the rock solid, grabbed my seat, let loose, and then I realized, my bike is not coming up to me. My bike is going.
You left it too late.
No, I was not. I don't left it too late. I was thinking, what was the problem? And then I realized, fuck, this rut before, there was really deep, and I got this kick. When I got in the ramp, I got this kick on my
So your ass has got
wheel.
a kick, so the back end's coming up higher.
Exactly, and then when you go out like this off the ramp, this arc of
the jump,
of the jump is totally different. And if you mess this up with a rock solid, you have a big problem. No.
And you did.
I did a big rock solid because you don't realize it that something is wrong. You jump out, go back in a position, let loose your bike, and then okay, your bike is gone. And it's like, making you long, trying to grab it. And I just touched with the finger my rear fender.
Yeah.
And then...
And that was it. You just Supermaned all the way into the ground.
All the way. And my bike landed perfect and straight. It ran down 20 or 30 meters straight till the end of
to the fence or something.
To the fence or something. Boop, fell down, and I heads down. But the good thing is I made it in the landing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then roll and blah blah blah. And then this was the point where I broke the hip the first time, and my sitting bone.
Oh,
and although this
coccyx,
you see this scar here.
Oh yeah,
all this
on
the ligaments was ripped out of the thumb and stuff.
Oh,
then I was really pissed, and then I was just thinking. And when I came back after this one, I was like, no ruts, no shit, I don't want it. And then I was just like, I don't want to crash because of shitty preparation or shitty landings or something.
And that's when the professor was born.
Exactly. This was maybe the game changer for me. It changed me. It changed all the guys around me, because at this moment I was like, look, get this stuff off the track.
Yeah.
Makes the landing better or something. And I was kind of, I guess for some persons, I was kind of anstrengend.
Pain in the ass, I believe, would be the
pain in the ass. But I was always, look, when someone is crashing, it's me.
For sure.
Because of this fucking rock or because of this shitty angle in the landing, and I have to handle the pain, not you. So, but it worked out pretty. So
get off your ass, put the shovel on there, fix up the run up,
and do it.
And do it right.
And it worked good for me. I had pretty less crashes or stuff. So I was really happy for it. Although with my run up system, just quick, I always had this duct tape on the run up, because I knew this is a point where I just
you measured out even on the run up
exactly
where you need to power
and I just had my power on, how I did it, and it was always working. I didn't jump too long, didn't jump too short. It seems to be stupid, but it helped me. Gave me a lot of self-confidence for new jumps and stuff, and this was all I was worried about. And the rest, what some guys talking about, I just give a shit on it. You know, I was feeling good with it, and it helped me a lot. And I guess all my results and the pictures and everything, and how long I was in this high level of the game, I guess is saying enough words to say it was good.
It was the right thing to do. It worked for you, and
that's the most important thing.
Prost.
Prost. Cheers.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm definitely not the professor. I'm pretty relaxed about it all, but I'm also pretty good at over jumping everything. I don't normally worry about the landings. I don't care how big the landings are, because I land on the flat ground anyway. But but it's also like when you see some guys over jumping it really bad and how it looks like, then it's just like when it happened, it's most of the time your first jump of the day or something. No, for me, it's every jump of the day.
Every jump, good. Then maybe you do something wrong. But if you go somewhere and you say, look, it's 21 meter and it looks different, sometimes your brain is just playing bad games with you, and it seems like, oh, that's far. I have to hit the gas more.
When you first look at that jump,
and then you over jump it, and bam, and then fuck, now my neck hurts, my ankles and my wrists.
I just got used to that feeling.
And this was what I was just hating. It was like when you go somewhere like Italy and you want to ride now for 1 week. It's not a good deal to destroy yourself in the first jump.
Hey, no problem if you're in Italy. Then you just eat pizza all week
pizza and pasta
and grappa and pasta, right. No problem.
No, though on this
hey, actually, you were talking about that Salzburg event where you did the rock solid crash. Do you have video of that?
The funny thing is, no one.
Oh, come on.
No.
Because
no one had a video of this crash.
I suppose we didn't have mobile phones back then videoing everything.
It was really crazy, but this was the event where Alvaro Dalfara,
because that's what I'm thinking,
with Derek Burlow, this name I can remember. They, what do you say? Jumped together.
They hit each other.
Crossed the lines. They hit each other in the air.
That's what I'm thinking. So in that one event, you've done this huge rock solid until the ground, huge crash, and then they had one of the most iconic crashes ever, where they're both on the run up on a like 90-degree angle to each other and didn't see the other one coming, and they just collected each other perfectly.
A lot of discussions about it, how this could happen, and where was, who had the fault about it and stuff with the riders or stuff like this. But I guess also after this event, a lot of things changed in how running the events, and the competitions. Like more safety guys with all the flags and stuff, and the rules was becoming way more strength.
Mate was strong. Or tougher, more tougher.
Exactly, because they realized it's gonna be really, really dangerous, and also this was a time pretty close after the running the runner plates was coming up, because they was looking for a solution to get rid of the ruts and stuff. So the run-ups, the wood with this metal on it.
So we can almost trace this back to you in Europe saying, fuck off, I'm not riding on this shit.
Yeah.
We need a solution.
And because and all
that doesn't surprise me.
No,
doesn't surprise me that,
because and also with all the festivals we was doing with the air team and stuff, it was just on a green area and stuff.
Yeah.
And you did 3 shows a day for 2 or 3 days. Can you imagine how the grass looked?
Yeah.
Ruts, everything was bumpy and stuff. So it was horrible in the end. And then with this mesh stuff, it was just good. And the good thing is also, even when it was raining a little bit, you can go and doing some jumps.
Yeah, exactly. You can still get a show done.
Exactly.
The promoter's still happy, or the sponsors, or whoever is still happy, and the crowd get to see the show. So you've done your job.
That's right. Yeah. And to be serious, about it, the tricks and all the stuff you was doing on your bike, everything had to be perfect. It's like I said, it's a connection of really small things. When they all connecting good, it's looking easy and it looking good. Yeah. But if something is not connecting good, it looks awful and it's feeling bad when you crash or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So you've had quite an interesting career. There's a few crashes in there that kind of destroyed where you were obviously on the way up, and you almost won a world championship. And then it just sounds like it was like a up and down, and you just couldn't get back to that very, 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 very top where you'd want to win a world championship. And then we get to 2013 must have been your last year.
Yeah, Cologne.
Do you look back and have regrets that you finished in 2013? Even at that point, the tricks you were doing then are still in competitions now.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you retired too early? Was it the right time?
Nah, I'm pretty happy with all my decisions I did. Yeah. I mean, all the years, what I did and what I have done, I'm proud of it. And I did my job.
Yeah.
That's what always was my goal. I wanted to go out and give my best. And I guess I did it. And I think there's not much shows where someone can say, oh, he had a bad day, he was not riding his tricks and stuff. I guess all of the events when I was focused and doing my stuff, I did it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if the track was not as good or stuff, I just sort it out and get my job done.
Yeah.
There was a lot of arguments and discussions, of course, before and why and getting the track better and stuff, but in the end it worked out. And also with now having my own business, all the work, and it was many years to get to this point where I am right now. There's a lot of things you have to do. I'm super happy that all my parents and stuff standing behind me and still helping me out, because there's so much stuff to do. And I wouldn't be happy to did it later, because it's like if I was riding more years, and I came later in the business. My parents getting older and older, and it's still stress for them. Though when it was good, I needed to learn a lot of things from my dad. Then you come into the point where you have to say, okay, now I am on the standard. Daddy, you have to go back a little bit because everything changed. Though now I'm up to date. Everything is different. I'm happy about it, doing my job. Everyone is hopefully fine with it. And so it's good where I am right now. And also with the injuries and stuff, I was just in the end, Steve, it's when you're not riding all the time, I was riding, doing my business, still doing some shows, but you don't find the time to go on for riding all the time.
You're not riding full-time, professional,
exactly.
Every day like you should.
Exactly. And then when you go out for shows and you think about it, damn it, you was not able to ride for the last 2 or 3 weeks because of work, because of shitty weather, and then you are standing in front of this mobile landing ramp and you think, okay, don't come too short, don't overjump, just get the show done and fine, do your best.
But if you've got that fear in your mind before you've started, you probably shouldn't do it.
Exactly. And I did my stuff and I made my plan for myself. I said, look, this year I just doing the German events from Night of the Jumps. All the other events I was already there for doing the track stuff, helping out and stuff like this, judging. And my last show was a plan from all the year, the Supercross in Stuttgart. This was my plan. And at this last show, I had this brain fart, what I told you
at the start
of the session here. I had this brain fart, and this was like, okay, you had it in your mind, and this one now is, you have to do it. Stop it. And also from this time on, I never ever jumped the ramp anymore.
That is so unreal. I remember because I met you in Torino, Night of the Jumps. You'd had a hernia operation.
Yeah. Was I there with the crutches?
Yeah, you had the crutches and everything. You were still riding then, and then you were coming back on for that was the last year. You were having your last. Yeah. And you had this hernia operation, then you were going to come back. And then
you're right. I was not riding the event active.
No,
I was doing the track.
Or the track,
Exactly. And then was Cologne coming up.
Yeah. And so you have prepared. You've had the hernia operation. Okay. I have my last event later at Cologne. That's it. Retirement.
Exactly.
And then you crashed again with a brain fart. A floater backflip crash.
Exactly. This was a plan. Cologne, last event. Goodbye to all my fans and to the crowd I loved and stuff. And can you remember I haven't ridden before Cologne, I guess. I was just on my track doing some straight jumps to get back the feeling for the distance and doing some little tracks if my hernia is good. Yeah. And it was good. I felt good. Everything was fine. That's the reason why I was going for, what you say, it was not tsunami flip, Superman
like a
flip.
KOD flip or something.
For me, it was a KOD flip, but it was hard for me to come back. Yeah. And I tried them, and I did one, and because of when you want to come back, you know it. You have to, all your muscles.
Yeah, you've got to crunch
you have
hard.
Crunch everything to come back. And I crunched it.
I nearly drank
and it was like, whoop. Really sharp pain in this hernia region. Yeah. It was not the hernia was ripped apart, but because my muscles was not, used.
Yeah.
All the weeks before, and this was a muscle,
like a little tear of the muscle.
And you know how painful it is.
Yeah.
So there was not many tricks I can do, but it was fine. It was good. And that was my last contest. And the show, I was just training for it, doing it, and then was a brain fart. Broke my ankle.
So you left your final show, which you had planned for, in an ambulance.
Exactly. And it was my first loop out backflip crash. I never had this, doing a backflip and looping out with some other guys, and throwing the bike away.
I had one here at your house.
Oh.
In my second year, I think that I lived here, I did one.
Okay.
at Fabland.
Yeah.
I just had a brain fart and Larry loop out. And
I never.
I just watched the landing the whole time and went, oh, well, I guess.
Going for the ass bomb.
Yeah. I wasn't really in the ass bomb position. It was almost like the start of a bike flip like Tom Paget's.
Yeah.
The bike kind of went up and I was just looking at it going, well, it's not doing a backflip. And
not at all.
And I'm not coming back from this ruler. So I guess I'm just going to eat dirty. Yeah.
So that was the end of my career. So,
but the real what really matters at the end of the day was it didn't matter that you won a world championship. That's not actually going to change anything. Whether you're a world champion or not wasn't going to change what you did. You were happy though just to do
exactly
what you did.
I mean, if I would have the title world championship, it would be easier for getting sponsors, and it maybe would open more doors and stuff. And also, of course, you would have more possibility then, you can go maybe somewhere else for training. You get bigger sponsors who giving you more money, so you can spend more time somewhere in Torrevieja for training with Andre Villa and stuff. So this was an awesome location to ride. But what can you say? Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you don't know why. That's what I'm always saying like this. Why I'm sitting here with my still in pain shoulder. I don't know why. It had also some good parts, doing some really important changes for my business and stuff because I had time. But maybe 1 year later or something, why it happened and for what it was good in the end. Yeah,
you have time to think and change direction, do what you need to do maybe.
Exactly.
No regrets.
That's it so far. Yeah.
So obviously, like I'm looking at the thing, we've been going for an hour and a half, so I'm going to split this into 2 parts.
Oh, that's good.
So at the 1 hour mark, we'll say the first hour's part 1 and we'll do part 2. So this is part of part 2 now.
Do what? Just cut it out, but it's nonsense.
There's a lot of nonsense that we just wouldn't start. No.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
So I want to ask though, you've been there from the start. You've seen where we are now with guys like Luke Ackerman, of course, and Tom. Okay, Luke at Night of the Jumps because we're judging there, and that's the question. But there's Tom, there's Levi, Sheeny, Clinton, Tucker, Jacko Strong, Adelberg, all them big boys. But where freestyle was, where it has come to now, and now you are full-time judging at the World Championships. That has to be a hell of a job because you know what it's like, but it's also just so gnarly now. How do you see it, the progression until now, and where do we go from here, and how the hell do you judge it?
Yeah, the progression for me, it's just crazy. I told you before, even when I was riding, but at this level where the other guys were and what they was doing, for me it was crazy to see how much skills, and there was riding every day and stuff. Of course there must be a different level, but it was just, I was, what do you say, not proud. I was just still, I was like, what they are doing, it was like just seeing it was crazy, and I was just like, even I was doing same stuff, but they was just doing it in a different way. And then all the stuff coming up with this double flip. Yeah. Double flip, crazy, Mike Metzger, and it's awesome. No one can do it. And, all this stuff around, and what they are doing now in a double flip and stuff. Sheeny with his triple flip. Okay, you have to see, they're building up special ramps for it, special landings and everything. But it's good for the sport. It brings up new tricks, pushing it up to a new level, everything. So it's really, really good for the spectators because it's so more action and stuff. For the riders on the other side, it's getting so much more dangerous. Yeah. Because if you double backflip, crash something, Cam Sinclair and stuff, everything looks so easy if you do it. Yeah. It looks so easy. But no one who is not doing it and never have ridden a bike or jumped it knows what you have to do all and to go through all the pain and time to do this.
Yeah.
And how much or how fast a little mistake can destroy everything you was working for the whole season or something, you know? And look at Luke. Luke, to be honest, at the beginning, he was kind of a little bit crazy guy. He had huge balls. He still have huge balls, but he was riding in the beginning with way less brain like he's doing now.
Exactly. That's exactly the truth.
That's the truth. Yeah. And I told him in the beginning, I said, look, Luke, you don't have to go out always and showing 110% because you are not giving 100%, you always 100%.
Yeah.
And now, the last years, you can see him thinking more about it, smart, just cool down a little bit more at the point where he has to, and then bring it on where
at
it
the
was
right
needed
time.
at the right time. And it paid out for him.
Yeah.
It was good. And now he's now I can look at him when he's riding. I'm not as scared anymore as I was in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I know how it hurts when you crash. And this is the part where I'm just feeling the pain when these guys and my friends are crashing. And maybe, Steve, this is also something with judging and stuff. I know it. I went through a hard way with the judging because I most of time got scored pretty low because I was riding smooth and it was not looking like sketchy and difficult. It was just smooth and easy, and so the personal impression was like, it's low and whatever. It's an old story, whatever. But on the other side, now I know what they are doing. I'm trying to figure out what is technical, what all the little details the guys have to do, figuring out on which jump they are doing it, and then trying to give my best points, and also with all this knowledge from the background to be a fair guy. And the other part of this with helping the track and stuff, I know sometimes I am pain in the ass, I know, but when I have to do a job, I want to get, like Professor Freestyle, I want to get the best out of it. And because right now I am having my own business, you get money out of it, or you get the best result when you do it fast, good. These two things, do it fast and do it good.
Yeah.
No mistakes, nothing. And if I have too much stuff messing around and messing it up and I have to do it 3 times, this is just costing my time and nerves. So why not do it at the first time right?
That's it.
And perfect, and then it's done. Good.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah,
some guys would say, blah, 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 problem and always, but I know all the years what I have done, I guess it was good.
Yeah.
We hadn't problems and stuff all with my work, and this was always what I want to do, like in the freestyle. When I do something what I was booked for or paid for, I want to do it good.
Yeah.
No regrets, no complaining about it. And I had to take care of the safety for the guys. So it was never ever where I would say, it will work, whatever. I double checked it, even like I had to jump it, and then when I would say it's good, then I was happy.
For it. That's it. I mean, yeah, exactly. So you're looking after the track, you're judging it, and I know even between you and I, when we're judging, and sometimes, and that's the good reason of having 5 judges or 3 judges or whatever, I have a different thought of jumps compared to you because I have a different background to your background, and I always think, like, when you're watching someone like Malero, who's always perfect with every trick,
clean,
very, very clean, but there's not that sort of crazy
energy
aspect
coming out, exactly,
that you would see from Luke, but then that's also different than if you watched Adelberg, Ronaldo, or, you know, all those other guys that are kind of really smooth, Levi. And so how do you work out who's better on the night? Because that's the toughest job, is who's first, second, third, fourth.
Exactly. All these guys, like I said, we are all persons. We all have a personal, meaning.
Yeah.
Everything have a different impression about some person doing stuff. And it would be bullshit to say that there's at this level where they are, that the riders, someone is really better than all the others. They are all on a really, it's an edge where all the riders are.
Yeah.
And right now, the last years, how I can tell, the first guys was like, it's not the question who is better. The question was who is doing a mistake, or who is doing these little mistakes where you can say, okay, they was riding really good, because on the tricks and on the scores, they was all so super close, just 1 or 2 points difference. But then in the end, there was these little mistakes where you can say, look, now this one was riding super clean, though he on this day is first. The other was doing some new tricks, but not so safe. And then in the end was with all these track use, different ramps and stuff, what they're doing. So it got really, really hard to pick a winner out of these super guys who riding so perfect and on a high level. But someone has to win, right?
That's
and then that's it. You have 5 judges. The highest one is out, the lowest one is out, and the other 3 is just some summe. And we had a system, and every rider knows it. So some guys are really smart and worked with this system perfectly, went home, building their own ramps and stuff, just to make sure when I'm on the next event, I want to hit this ramp as well, doing a trick over it to get the track use point. And you know, it's not as easy. It's not like some spectators just sitting outside and, oh, this was riding way better. Nah, we have a system, and all the riders know it, because we have to find a line where we can judge.
That's it. Yeah, and every event is different. Every track is going to be a little bit different, even though all the ramps are 8 meters or 9 meter radius and a super kicker and whatever ramp that's there, quarter pipe. But actually, they're all different. Every day is different. You can put an 8 meter ramp on 21 meters, and we do it at night of the jumps. Every event, it's 8 meters at 21 or 21 and a half or whatever we decide on at the time. And almost every single time, the ramp's too short or it's too big today. And it's exactly the same as last time, but it never is, or it never feels like it. So that's always a tough job, and to judge that, and everybody's also going to feel different on different days. Did you have a good sleep the night before?
Of course.
Did they travel 40 hours to get there? Have they got a cold, or are they just shitting their pants because they know they're going to go for a big trick?
Yeah, sometimes.
Or are they feeling easy? They're like,
that's maybe your brain. Sometimes it's your brain who's just telling you something else, or just with these events, we had sometimes long run-ups, and we put it on 21.5 meters. The week before, it was like, that's too far. Move it half a meter in front. We moved it on 21. And then the next time, we put it on 21 again, because everyone was telling, this is perfect, this is night. But we had 5 meter more long run-ups.
Yeah. And then the ramp feels different. Yeah.
They overjumped it, and then, whoa, that's never 21 meters, and it's bullshit, change it. Yes, it was 21 meters. It's just more run-up.
Every day is different.
And here we go again with my system. Put in this fucking duct tape.
The professor's back.
Give me 100 run-up meter.
Run-up. 100 meters.
I didn't care about it. I knew, okay, this, I just looked with one eye on this one. Okay, and this is the point. And then here you just starting your gas. And it worked for 20, for 18, for 23 or something, whatever. It was just my style.
Yeah.
I was a little bit special, you can say.
No problem. No, that's good. And actually, thinking about how you're training or how you're feeling at home, and to get rid of those nerves when you're training for freestyle, I do it, and I learned this particular thing from you. Remember when I first came here 5 years ago, and you said, Steve, what video games do you play? And I said, Call of Duty on Xbox, but I came to Germany with 2 gear bags, one with parts and one with clothes, and I don't have a TV here and I don't have an Xbox. But you have a PC. And you said, you should play World of Tanks. What? I remember I came up here and you said, come and I'll play the game, come and watch me have a beer and watch the game.
I just want to say, I guess you came here because we said, come on, come by for having a beer. And I was sitting in my room, just playing a little bit and say, look, just look what this game is, and you have the beer, and then maybe it's fun for you as well. So it's a reason about the beer, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But well, maybe the beer was the reason that got me here. But I mean, like I always played video games just to like chill out and you know, just stop thinking about stuff. And it's just funny that I came up here. I'm only bringing this up purely because we've played so damn much World of Tanks on the lap. Well, I'm on the laptop. You've got your
on the
computer, and
you know what this thing is about, because I'm always get asked about it and what does it make sense to do it or whatever. I'm more after some years getting crazy with Night of the Chums and the parties and stuff. Now I'm pretty calm. You know, I had so many actions and driving around and traveling around. Now I just settle down, and my job site is stressful enough. And with all the years of doing this pretty risky and dangerous hobby and stuff, there's something what you can do without risk at all. It's just good.
Yeah.
And you know, you put on your computer, having a game, it's fun, and your brain focusing so much on this thing right now on the game that it just blocks out all the other thoughts. For me, it's like this: not thinking on work at this hour when I am playing or something. I'm just ausblenden. What do you say? You just push these sides away, you know, because you are focused on this thing. And that's the same when I was riding motocross. I'm focused on this thing, and this is where my brain just, we say, get released or something, refreshes a little bit. Yeah, sometimes going out in some bars, having 3 or 4 beers, being there for 2 hours, and then coming home. I'm going in my room 1 hour, 1.5 hours maybe. When you was here, we maybe did it a little bit more. What do you say?
I don't know. A lot longer and with a lot more beer.
We did a lot of longer, a lot of beer because I had more time.
Yeah.
You had more time and everything. Yeah. And it was winter time. You can't do anything outside, also with my job. So we did it a little bit more extreme.
Yeah.
A little
full
bit
gas.
extreme.
a little bit more full gas.
And you know, all these good times with the Männertag.
Yeah. So Männertag is, it's not really Männertag, but here in Germany they say Männertag. It's kind of like men's day off to walk around with a box of beer and a little trailer or something,
or Schubkarre or whatever.
Yeah, in the wheelbarrow, or I've seen buggies getting around.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but then we've had our Männertags here with a couple of guys like Stefan and Anox and Mike. And Starman
and Anox, exactly. And these are friends. I never know them personal.
Yeah.
I met them online in World of Tanks, just random. We had some games together and it just connected, you know. It's just like they are not riding motocross. They are not doing some other crazy stuff like we are doing on the one side.
Yeah.
But this is also one part they are loving to do, and they do it. And so it connected, and from this one, I guess a really good friendship started. Yeah. One is in Munich, the other is up to Bautzen. So it's a long way between these guys. And they was living first in the same village. Then because the jobs, they had to split up. And now I came in between. I'm in the middle of this distance.
It's like 2 hours each way or
perfect.
Something. Yeah.
We said, hey, Männertag, let's meet here. We had it the years before. Then you showed up and you loved also
German beer.
I don't know exactly. I was just now thinking about.
You were trying to be professional.
Is it World of Tanks you loving or the beer? But anyway, the other guys loving both, and so it's fine. And it was Ausnahme. That's what I mean. Ausnahme. What do you say? Ausnahmezustand, which is not normal. not regular. It's these 2 days are, what do you say?
I don't know.
It's crazy. It's totally.
Yeah, it's just different.
It's just different.
Yeah.
We was just here grilling, having beers, playing computer, even at the day, being inside. Outside was sun. No one cares.
Yeah.
Sitting inside drinking
sun.
beers.
No, the sun's just for Lars. Lars stands outside.
The
He makes the Grillmeister
Grillmaster.
Lars. He can stand out there with DJ Jürgen. They
Exactly.
get the grill ready, get the barbecue ready.
And getting beer. And and all this Fässchen, 50 liters of beer. No, that's...
we'll have to ask Rothaus for a couple of Fässchens for Manatag this year.
Why not? Maybe we can have some good time here. And Mike and Stefan already asked us, what are we doing this year with Manatag? And I said, with Corona, it's a problem.
Yeah.
But maybe we just postpone it.
Postpone it.
And then do it even bigger.
So Manatag is supposed to be in like 1 week, 2 weeks?
I think so.
Was the plan?
It's pretty close.
And I guess it's not going to happen. So I guess it gives us a little bit more time now to do some training.
Yes.
With World of Tanks, we should get some training in. We've probably talked for long enough.
Exactly.
And get some practice in before Stefan and Mike come and we can kick their asses, with the big boomstick. And yeah.
Yeah, that's just a part of still being a little bit a child, whatever. And, I'm always saying everyone has to do what is good for him. So one is doing this, one is doing this. You have to accept it. For some people, it's stupid. For other one is saying, hey, I know it. I'm doing it. So
I've played 50,000 games now on this.
You have...
But
I
my
don't
stats
know.
are looking pretty good.
Yeah, but how many years I played it before? And then you came and you passed me in 1.5 years. And I have now... I don't know.
I train hard.
It's more than double.
I work hard and I play hard.
Me.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Dankeschön. Thank you very much, Fabi.
Thank you. It was a good time.
Awesome. It was only a little 2-parter this one. We'll make it into 2 parts. No problem at all.
I asked you before, should we talk small or longer? And you said, let's talk about it.
We can keep talking because it's going to be a long time until the next night of the jumps to find another interview. So maybe we make 3, 4, and 5 parts. And
out of this. I'm an old guy. I had a long career, so I have a lot of stuff to talk about it. So if you want a short story, take one of the young guns.
Exactly. Awesome. Dankeschön. And let's go play some tanks and drink a Tannenzaepfle.
One more. Exactly.
Prost.
Prost. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Well, we kind of got a bit off topic there. Maybe just because it was getting late, the beer was tasting too good, and I just wanted to play some games. I want to thank Fabian for taking the time to sit down between the craziness that is his life of painting houses in Rudental and the Coburg region in Germany. If you're based in Germany and want to renovate your house and make it look like the bee's knees and to the absolute highest quality, then you need to look no further than Fabi. I'm pretty sure after listening to this podcast, you can hear that Fabian is an absolute perfectionist, and that's exactly how he approaches painting houses and anything else. So check out his company, it's Fabian Bauersachs. I also want to thank Rothaus for keeping us hydrated throughout this interview. I made myself a little mixed box of Tannenzaepfles with the pills and the alcohol-free beers, knowing that Fabi was at home and he could enjoy a couple of cold beers, and I certainly didn't miss out by having a couple of the alcohol-free Tannenzaepfle pills, which tastes almost exactly the same. Because the worst thing would be to go somewhere and think you're missing out by not having a beer. But with the Tannenzaepfle range, they've got it covered, and what's most important is it tastes absolutely perfect. To find out more about Rothaus, you can visit their website at rothaus.de, and better yet, click on the Find Us tab. I think it's the 3rd tab along on the website. Put in your postcode and see how close to awesomeness you are. If you enjoyed this interview, please subscribe to this podcast in whatever platform you're listening to it on, and give it a nice big 5-star rating. Also, check out our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube channels for special content, videos and photos of each of our guests that come on, some good, some bad, some just funny. And if you have any comments, suggestions, or you have a favourite rider that you want interviewed, just let me know or tag me on Instagram, which is where I spend most of my time, just scrolling and looking at cool photos and just motorbikes and dirt in general. And it also just keeps me away from looking at Facebook scientists at the moment. So yeah, get on Instagram. Actually, there is a much better way to use my time on my phone right now. The new TIMX game, This Is Motocross, has just been released in beta version on both the iOS and Android versions. So I'm just going to go and get some practice in, see if I can't turn myself into a pro FMX rider. Catch you later.